Hey everyone, my name is Chris. I'm from Serverpoint.com. I'm going to be showing you how to install WordPress today. There's a few prerequisites before we get started. First thing you're going to need is a computer that's on the internet with a public IP address. I would suggest using Serverpoint.com and spinning up a $10 VM, and then you can put your website on there. It's a good idea when you're making a website or testing a website, just to put it up, put it on the internet initially, just to make things simpler for you. I'm trying to migrate it from your private network onto the internet. It's not usually that straightforward. So but yeah, just start out with a public IP address and things will be much easier for you. Okay, second things you're going to need is the LAMP stack installed on the server. I'm not going to get into how to install that. It's pretty straightforward. All you're installing is the Apache server and the MySQL database software. There's tons of tutorials online for how to do that. It's really easy on Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu 14 for this demo. And then the last thing you're going to need is an SSH client. What I'm using is PuTTY. You can download that at putty.org. Since I'm using Windows, I'm using PuTTY, but if you're on Linux, you can just use the Linux command line and just SSH straight from there. Okay, so in order to log into the server, I'm going to start PuTTY. Just copy the IP address of the server here and paste it into PuTTY. Then that will give you a login prompt. I'm going to be logging in as the root user here. That's a bad idea if it's going to be a production server, but this is just a demo server, so I'm going to delete this VM as soon as I'm done with this demo. For security reasons, though, you don't want to be logging in as a root user out on the public internet. It could just create a lot of security problems on your server, so it's not a good idea. Okay, and then I'm going to paste the password into PuTTY. You just right click and it'll paste it into PuTTY once you copy it from a text file or whatever. Okay, so now once you're logged into the server, what you want to do is download the WordPress package to one of your local directories. So I'm going to change directories to the home directory. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use wget, download the software onto the server. They have the links on the WordPress website. So basically that's wget and then the link to the archive file of the WordPress install. So I'm going to do that. It's going to download it into my home folder. And then I'm going to untar the archive into this folder. I just copy and pasted this command. It's just tar, and that command just untars the latest .tar.gz file into this directory. So now if I ls, it'll show me what's in this directory, and you can see it unzips all those files into the WordPress directory, and that's going to be all the files for WordPress. But before we do anything else, we're going to set up the database. So what you're going to do is you're going to log into the MySQL database. So you just type MySQL -u, and then the user, which is the root user that you set up when you installed MySQL, and then -p for password, and then enter the password that you created when you created the website, or when you created the database. Okay, so now we're logged into the MySQL. We're going to create a database user for WordPress. Well, actually, first thing we're going to do is create the database itself. So here we're going to type create database WordPress. WordPress is the name of the database. Okay, so that command works. So now we have a database created called WordPress. Now we're going to create the user. So grant all privileges. Oh, sorry. Then you put the database name here. So WordPress .star. So that grants all privileges on the WordPress database to your user, this is where we're going to create the user. So WordPress user at localhost, because this user is going to be logging into the database from the localhost. And then we're going to create the password. So identified by password. So that will create the user and the password. Look like the command works, so we're all good to go there. So now we're just going to flush the privileges. And exit MySQL because we're done setting it up for now. Okay, now we're going to create the actual website. So we're gonna change directory into the WordPress directory. It's the directory where we unzipped all those files to. So change directory, WordPress, and then I'll ls this directory and you can see all the files in here. This is the whole WordPress website. What we're gonna do is copy all of these files into your actual root document root file of the server, the Apache server that we set up, that we didn't set up in this video, but I set it up before the video. The lamp stack. I'm going to copy R for recursive, so it'll copy all the files and folders. The wildcard star will copy everything, and then copying it to var www html. The var www.html is the document root of the server. Okay, so that looked like it worked. Let's see if all the files are actually in that directory. So we'll ls var www html. Yep, it looks like they're all in there, so that worked. So now what we're gonna do, once we copied all these files over to this directory, it actually created the website. So now we can take the IP of the server and copy it into the web browser and then see if our server is actually running. Yep, there it is. So there's the WordPress website. And now we just follow the installation instructions from here on the website. We don't have to do any more command line stuff. So just hit let's go. We put the database name that we created, the WordPress user that we created. So WordPress user, password is password, database host is localhost, same as it was in the database. So this all looks good. We're just going to hit submit here. On some installations it'll do this automatically, but on this one the Apache server doesn't have the privileges to modify this file, so we're going to do this ourselves. So we're going to copy all this text here. This is the wp-config file. This is the configuration file for WordPress. Basically all it has is the database user, password, and the host. You can make this manually if you want, but they help you do it here. So this is the whole config file here. We're going to copy that. Okay, so once we're back in PuTTY, we're going to go to the document root of the server. So we're going to change directory to var www.html. Confirm that all our files are in here. Okay, so now we're just gonna do nano wp-config.php, and then we're just gonna right click and paste that whole config file in here that we copied from the web browser. Control X, hit Y to save, return, and that's it. It should be in there. So just confirm that it's there. Yeah, it looks like it's in there, so we should be all good to go there. Now we're just going to go back to the web browser and then click run the install, and this should install WordPress. And there it is. So here is the login screen for WordPress. It's now installed. So you want to make a title for your website, you know, whatever, hello world, and then your username for logging into your website. I'll just do this, password, you know, whatever. I just use a simple password for demo purposes. You will want to use a good password with a lot of lowercase, uppercase letters, and numbers and whatnot. And then do your email. And that's it. So install WordPress, log in. Now you can log in with those credentials that you made. So Chris, and then the password. And there it is. You now have an up and running WordPress website. So from here you can just start customizing it any way you want. Real simple, fast website. Good for beginners and intermediates alike. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.